President Trump should now officially be known as President Scrooge, as that will be his legacy. He is the president who is literally fighting to keep Americans hungry, taking it all the way to the Supreme Court in an emergency appeal, which gets granted, as the lower courts are still trying to decide how to rule and hear the arguments. Now, I think ultimately he's going to lose this, but we are now a full week into people without their food assistance. Babies not getting baby formula. Elderly people not getting their food assistance. Our veterans, children. This is the man who claims to be a billionaire, filthy rich, yet he can't spare a dime to feed the hungry. That is Ebenezer Scrooge. Let's get into it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. And let's explode this and get this thing viral, because everyone needs to be calling Trump President Scrooge. And let me know if you agree with that. Now, aside from what I had already mentioned, Trump is also asking, not even asking, telling furloughed or essential workers in the federal government that they will not receive their back pay, that they are guaranteed by law. So they are required now to work without pay. Remember when Scrooge refused to give Bob Cratchit a raise and he was trying to feed all his hungry children? It's the same thing. Now, A Christmas Carol, the novel that's been adapted in the movies that I'm referring to here, that contains the character Scrooge, was a mirror of society at a period long ago. And now we are back there. We should be well past this, but it's something that's a tale as old as time, and we are still dealing with. And Trump is the Scrooge of our time, and we are the Bob Cratchit family. Trump keeps saying he wants to get to heaven, but at this rate, it's really not looking that good, wouldn't you say? Democrats decisively won in every election this week, and Trump refuses to fully acknowledge why. They won on affordability, and this is what he's had to say about that.
It was a con job. It was a con job. Affordability, they call it, was a con job by the Democrats. The Democrats are good at a few things: cheating on elections and conning people with facts that aren't true. It was 25%. Walmart just announced it 2 days ago. 25% cheaper this year, will be cheaper to have Thanksgiving than it was a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden.
He calls it a scam, a hoax, a Democrat made-up idea that affordability isn't even an issue, trying to say that costs are down to the lowest they've been in years, maybe ever, saying inflation was the highest under Biden. Well, that inflation was inherited by Biden. It was caused by Trump and his mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic, which caused trillions of dollars in federal aid to flow into our economy to prop everything up while everyone worked from home. And that is what led to the massive amounts of inflation. And Biden worked very hard to cool that down, and the cooling of it is what we were really starting to see until Trump came in. And with his tariff policy, he has exploded inflation. It still remains at a level of around 3% on average. There are goods that are way more. I was just at the grocery store yesterday, and I wanted to get a pound of beef, of ground beef, and it was $8 for a pound. That is at least double, probably more, what it used to be. And it's not just beef, it's everything across the board is up. Now, I probably don't need to tell you that. It's our lived experience. We are seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it, and paying for it. And Trump refuses to acknowledge that. He wants to act like it does not exist. And with grocery prices so high, energy prices so high, energy prices at like an all-time high, and mainly because he's cut all the green initiative programs that were bringing energy costs down. And because everything's so high, people need food assistance now more than ever. President Scrooge is the president of confusion and chaos. He's created quite literally a disaster regarding the food assistance program, SNAP. And now states are trying to figure out what to do. Yesterday, Pennsylvania started getting recipients of SNAP their benefits. This was federal money that had started coming in, and they were having it fully funded for people who were supposed to receive it on November 1st. And then this order came in, and now what do? They funded it, it's federal money, and they cannot get reimbursed by the federal government if the state goes and funds it now. So it's just mass confusion. People don't know what to do, and people are going hungry amidst all of this. And Josh Shapiro had this to say.
America has a president and a vice president that don't give a damn about all Americans. They have made that crystal clear. And I mean, at least with Donald Trump, he's transparent about that. J.D. Vance is a total phony. And let me explain why. J.D. Vance rose to some prominence by writing a book about growing up in Appalachia, where there's a whole lot of people who get SNAP. He made millions of dollars on the backs of telling their stories, and then he turned his damn back on those very people who he likes to write about and claim as his own. Here's another thing J.D. Vance claims. He claims to be a person of faith. I know my Bible. And my Bible teaches us that we are to love thy neighbor. And we are to feed the hungry. Deuteronomy says if you see a person who is in need, you don't give them a clenched fist, you open up your hand. So for J.D. Vance now to turn around after claiming all these things his whole life and literally go to court to stop hungry people from eating, that is not only phony, it is shameful. And this is who is leading America today. And folks got to wake up and realize the people who are leading in America quite literally want to keep people hungry. And you'll excuse me for getting emotional about it, but when I see hungry people in my state who are hungry because of J.D. Vance's bullshit politics, that makes me angry. And that's why I went to court. And that's why we're funding SHARE. And that's why we're putting dollars back on people's SNAP cards, because that's what the people of Pennsylvania deserve, and America deserves better than J.D. Vance.
Thank God someone other than just Gavin Newsom is now standing up to Trump and J.D. Vance. Josh Shapiro got visibly upset and angry when asked about their response and what they're doing. Never in this country have we seen a president and vice president actively fight to keep Americans hungry, Americans from getting their food, from getting their benefits that they are provided by Congress. Trump says gas is going to be down to $2 soon. Remember in the summer when he said it was 98 cents in some places? Well, that was never true. Not once, not ever. And I doubt we get down to $2 a gallon. A reporter asked a question saying that Thanksgiving dinners are cheaper at Walmart because they are now including less food. So they're cheaper because you're not getting as much. So that makes sense. But he was just fully enraged by this and totally denied all of it.
But it also contains less. As affordability.
Well, I haven't heard that. You're telling me. Who are you with? Who are you with?
I'm with NBC News, sir.
Fake news. NBC. You're fake news. What a NBC's gone down the tubes along with most of the rest of them.
If I ask, why do you think there's such a disconnect between the economy that you're describing day to day and the way many Americans say are feeling and they're concerned about?
Well, they feel better about our country right now, other than the shutdown, obviously, which is caused by the Democrats, could be ended by the Democrats in 2 minutes. They feel much better. We have more jobs. We just set a record on jobs. You do know that. We have more investment in our country than any country in history. We're over $18 trillion as of this moment, and we're going to be maybe at 20 or 21 trillion by the time I finish up my first year.
Whenever he gets fact-checked with actual facts, he calls the reporter that asked fake news, calling NBC fake news. Whenever he gets challenged by anything, it's fake. Today, Trump is in total panic meltdown mode. As the walls are closing in, he's facing immense pressure to end the shutdown. He's facing immense pressure from Republicans in his own party, and he is fighting them on this, demanding that they end the filibuster and do it in a way where he can essentially dictate what gets done, what legislation gets passed, and where this country goes moving forward without any of us having any say in any of it through our elected representatives. And that's just wrong, and that should not happen. And I hope Republicans stay strong in standing up to him on this and not taking the easy route. They could easily pass the Democrats' proposal that came out yesterday and pass the clean CR with the Obamacare subsidies extended for 1 year. That is something that they could easily do in a minute, and they are refusing to do it so far. But as the pressure mounts, as air travel tightens, as the economy starts grinding to a halt day by day due to this shutdown, they are going to be faced with more and more pressure. And I think if the Democrats stand strong on this, they will get this done. And even if they do pass the subsidies just for another year, they can negotiate that later at any time and fix it. Right now, they're saying that they cannot pass that because it's full of errors and it needs to be reformed. Well, you can reform it right after you pass this, but at least it'll help Americans keep their healthcare coverage and give some stability to the healthcare industry and Americans and their peace of mind. Comment what you think about all this. Let me know if you think the Republicans should pass the Democrats' proposal and end this shutdown, get SNAP benefits flowing, get people who are hungry their food, open up the airlines, and get our economy going again. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it, and I will see you back here for the 411.